Okay, that's something I did. All right. Oh, geez, I'm in a goofy mood. I just want to talk about things that I grew up with that my kids probably won't get to. Guy, I look a little wild, talking like I'm on heroin. I'm actually on cyclobenzaprine, which makes me a little loopy because I'm lightweight. As you guys know or have heard, I've probably mentioned my back pain for the past few days, so I'm a little hopped up. I hate drugs. I don't need, I don't like being on anything. Never taken antidepressants. I've only taken drugs as prescribed. See, I'm slurring my speech. I'm on actually two cyclobenzaprines every 24 hours, 10 grams, I think, and I'm just kind of wild with it. It's kind. I mean, they feel really good. It's a muscle relaxer to help my back, but honestly, I just end up getting kind of high and still feeling the pain in my back. I don't understand. I thought it would actually relax the muscle. It doesn't feel like it does. Anyway, I'm starting to come down off of it. I feel like the one time I did acid in 1990. Can't do it. I'm a lightweight, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is what hopefully came through, and I'll review it. Maybe I'll have to do it again. But I want to talk about things that were prevalent when I was a kid growing up that probably people under, I'm going to say 30, probably had very little knowledge of. So if you're 30, you were born in 1990, 1991, then there were still phones around, but I think this only happened to wired rotary phones. I mean, cordless phones were probably all the rage in the 90s, I would think. I know I had one in the late 90s. I actually had a rotary in the early 90s, and people make fun of me for that. So this is just one of those things that would actually happen. You would call a friend, and they would pick up about to call you, and it's not ringing. Then all of a sudden you're like, hello, and you hear a hello at the other end, and it's like, whoa, hey, what's going on? That happened several times in my when I was a teenager, calling my friends, and it was just like that. It was, oh, that's so cool. I've only had that happen like two other times in my whole life. So I was trying to think about, and I don't know if I can make this last another 7.5 minutes or not, but I was trying to think about things that existed back then, being a child of the 70s and 80s, that don't really exist now. I did think about we had a corner gas station called Gasomat here in Colorado. I don't think there are any around anymore, but in the 70s, I had one a block away from my home, and my parents would send me down to get cigarettes, and they knew me well enough that that was fine. I don't know if that would happen today. If you could send your 7-year-old, say, hey, go get, here's a dollar. Back then it was like a dollar or less. Here's your $10. Go down and get me some cigarettes. I don't know if you can forge those relationships anymore without a guy getting in huge trouble. I can't imagine that would happen at a liquor store. So it was different back then. A lot of different things. Things that I'm noticing now that my generation did that really isn't done anymore. Maybe it happens somewhere, but I don't see it like in the suburbs very much. Very rarely. Is we used to go shovel walks in driveways to make money when I was me and my two stepbrothers did that, and that was a thing that was done quite a bit because back in the 80s it just snowed more. I'm not going to go on some global warming rant like I've been known to do, but it just snowed more in the 80s here in Colorado, and here in the suburbs we got people with long driveways, and you ask the person like back then like 1980s, $10 was great, and you and your two brothers could maybe bust that out if it wasn't too deep in probably an hour. And so $10 divided three ways, it was like $3.50 an hour, 3.33 and a third if you want to be precise. But that was actually a decent haul for an hour back in 1980. I mean, minimum wage I think was right around $3, so that was a decent. That was a good haul. Then we go and we'd spend all on candy or my stepbrother's in the model airplane. Another thing I haven't seen too many kids do anymore. I remember they had most of them were done by Revel, I believe. They came in a box, and you'd get like a car or an airplane, and you'd have to get some glue. I don't think it came in the box back then. Maybe it did, but people were really into that a lot. The digital age has just changed us. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. Like for example, if I saw a 7-year-old at the local cigarette store, because that's what a lot of those gasomats have actually turned into. They're called Smoker Friendly here in Colorado. I don't know if it's a national chain or not, but Smoker Friendly is all over, and that's what the local gasomat, at least where I used to live, turned into, and I think a couple of them did. So Smoker Friendly, they sell cigarettes and other. I think they sell. Oh gosh, I forgot what it's called. paraphernalia for marijuana. I think they sell that stuff too. But I can't imagine a kid going in there today and go, yeah, my dad wanted me to get a pipe real quick. You can't do that. It's weird how things trigger your memory. I'm looking at the TV and I also wanted to give credit in case people didn't know who that was. That was a great old sketch show called Kids in the Hall. I don't know if any of you are familiar with it, but it was a Canadian comedy troupe, all male. So it was even funnier when they did female comedians because it was or female characters. It was kind of over the top, campy. I mean, today that would probably be looked down upon maybe as, oh, why are you mocking? Everyone's a victim now, right? I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but when it comes to comedy, I don't think anyone is usually trying to be insulting or demeaning to the people that they're portraying. As a matter of fact, they did an interview with Kids in the Hall right after it ended back in 1995, and they said, "Well, how did you do women characters so well?" It's like, because generally we didn't do too many of them over the top, because most people in general aren't over the top. So they said that they like would imitate their sisters or their mothers or whoever uh, seemed appropriate for the role that they were playing in that sketch at that time. So there's another thing in the past that has kind of changed, I think, a lot. I don't know if it's for the better or for the worse. Just because I put on a wig and looked ridiculous does not mean I'm trying to throw shade at trans people or gay men or women. It just means I'm trying to be a little silly with a comedic bent. And that's all I think they were doing. It was a very successful show. It ran for 5 seasons. They had it on MTV, and they just happened to trigger this average guy opinions episode 104. I don't think I announced it at the beginning because I was laughing too hard at that silly sketch. What else went on in the 70s and 80s that when as children? Oh, parents would just let you go, just let you go. I mean, they did not want us around. Like I remember, my mom. I did like this. My mom had a 2-hour TV limit during the summer. She said, "You better plan it and figure it out because I will not let you guys just sit in here and watch TV all morning and then go out at 11, then come back around 5, 6, 7, and watch TV all night." So it really made us be active and more selective with what we watched on television. I think that was great. But within that, what I was getting at is that they would just send you out. Just say, hey, be home by dinner, or come home for lunch and then go out all afternoon, and then we'll see you at dinner time, and then go out again and be home around 9 when the lights go on. This is summer I'm talking about, of course, but that was just a thing. It's a weird thing. Baby boomer parents were interesting because they got a lot of things right, in my opinion, but they also got a lot of things wrong. We often didn't feel as protected by those parents, I think, and maybe we needed that a little more, my generation. But we also felt super free, and I think the kids today don't get that nearly as much as they need. Um, I remember trying to remember things that kids could do today that or could do then that they couldn't do today. This is something that could be done today, but this is me and my friend were being a couple of little 13-year-old perverts, and they used to have softball games in our park. The park was also like a block away from where I lived. It was great. And I got a telescope one year for Christmas, and we hid in the tall grasses that were kind of behind the softball field, and we were looking at ladies' butts through the telescope because we were 13-year-old perverts. Now you could probably do that today. You could probably get away with it. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. But with the advent of phones, you'd probably just try to record it on your phone. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know where I'm going with this. I really didn't have a very good topic in mind because I thought I'd have a lot more stuff to talk about the differences between today's kids and when I was a kid. It's I am happy though because speaking of stuff I was doing when I was a kid, I played rec league soccer for like 10 years from ages 7 to 17, and we just reinstituted a soccer field about a block away from here. This is not the house I grew up in, even though it is my parents and I shared this duplex. So I'm about a block away from a park where they just spray painted the lines, and they're playing soccer this spring. And I want to go up there, and I want to watch the kids play and enjoy it, because I love watching competition. But I also that's another thing. A person could just do that in the 70s and not be thought of necessarily as a pedophile. He might be a little weird, but I'm scared that a bunch of people are going to turn their phones on me and go, what's this guy doing here? He's not anyone's parent. He's not anyone's grandparent. Why is he here? And if I just go, I'm just here to watch kids play, I might get arrested. So there's some differences between the 70s and now. Hope you enjoyed the sketch. See you guys next time. Bye.